You know that nagging little voice in your head, the one that whispers, you're not quite good enough? Well, today we're going to explore a pretty fascinating idea. What if that feeling of self-doubt, what if it isn't a flaw you need to fix, but actually a sign of a brilliant mind? Yeah, let's dive into this. So first, let's talk about a feeling I'm willing to bet many of you know all too well. It's that quiet sense that you're an imposter, just hiding in plain sight. I mean, really, think about it for a second. That moment in a big meeting or maybe your first week at a new job where you're just thinking, any second now, they're going to figure out I have no idea what I'm doing. If that sounds familiar, yeah, you're definitely not alone. And it's really not just you. This feeling is so common, especially among people who achieve a lot, that psychologists actually gave it a name. Just recognizing it is a huge first step. But what we're going to do next is completely reframe it. All right, let's keep going because this is where the whole idea gets turned on its head. We're about to flip the script on what self-doubt really means. We're so used to thinking of doubt as a bad thing, right? This messy, confusing feeling. But what if we've had the arrow pointing the wrong way this whole time? What if that doubt isn't a weakness at all, but a signal that your mind is just operating on a whole other level? And here it is. This is the core idea from our source material. I know, it's a bold statement. It's basically saying that the very anxiety that so many of us feel is holding us back might actually be an indicator of some serious intelligence. So the really crucial point here is this. That feeling of being a fraud, it might just mean you're self-aware enough to see how much you don't know. And that kind of awareness, it's actually pretty rare. Now, to really get this, we need to look at two completely opposite ways our brains can work. This is where things get super interesting, because we're going to explore how different minds see their own skills. So first up, you've got the Dunning-Kruger effect. You've probably heard of this one. It's a well-known bias where, to put it simply, the people with the least amount of skill are often the most confident. They literally don't know enough to realize how little they know. Okay, just look at this chart. This shows you the overconfident mind in a nutshell. I mean, look at that massive gap. Confidence is way up here, through the roof, while actual knowledge is, well, it's barely on the board. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect in action. Some people call this Mount Stupid. It's that peak where you don't know enough to realize you know nothing at all. And then on the complete other side of the spectrum, you have intellectual humility. This right here is the sign of a truly intelligent mind. It's that deep understanding that knowledge is massive and you've only really explored a tiny little corner of it. You're skilled for sure, but you're also super aware of the limits of that skill. Now let's look at the brilliant mind. It's almost the mirror image, isn't it? Knowledge is high, way up there, but look at the confidence. It's solid, but it's actually lower than the knowledge level. Now, this isn't a lack of confidence. No, it's an accurate confidence, one that's shaped by the wisdom of knowing there's still so much left to learn. So, here they are, side by side. You have one mindset that's overconfident, totally unaware of its own blind spots. And then you have the other, which is cautious, curious, and defined by its awareness of the great unknown. One basically stops learning, and the other is always ready to learn more. So which one really sounds more like a genius to you? Okay, so let's bring this all home. If any of this has been resonating with you, if you felt that imposter syndrome, maybe it's time to stop seeing it as a weakness and start seeing it for what it could really be. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The real dividing line isn't just about how much you know. It's about your awareness of how much you don't. Overconfidence is easy. Self-doubt, well, that's where the geniuses play. I want you to let that sink in for a second. That feeling isn't a bug. It's a feature. It's literally the operating system of a brilliant mind. It's what pushes you to learn more, to double-check your work, to question things, and ultimately to achieve so much more than those who never ever doubt themselves. So the next time you feel like a fraud, just take a breath, reframe it. See it as a sign of your own intellectual humility. The real question was never about whether you belong. The real question is, what are you going to build, create, and discover, all because of the very trait you once thought was a weakness?